Saigon was a giant statue of two soldiers honoring South Vietnamese fighting men. What happened to the statue was symbolic of what happened to the war.
That was CBS News coverage of the fall of Saigon. Communist North Vietnam seized the city 40 years ago today. Images of South Vietnamese escaping on American helicopters are seared into history. There are tales of tragedy, but also heroism. One story is that of John Reardon. We first met him in 2013. Leslie Stahl interviewed him for 60 Minutes. His new book is called They Are All My Family. Chip Reed shows us how Reardon rescued more than 100 people.
In the book, you describe yourself as the kind of guy who follows the rules. But here, you did
the rule book had been thrown away on this one.
You threw it away.
Yeah.
Because you had to rescue these people.
In the spring of 1975, John Reardon was the assistant manager of the Saigon branch of First National City Bank, what today we call Citibank. With communist North Vietnamese forces bearing down on Saigon.
In 20 years of war, this is the closest that combat has ever come to downtown Saigon.
Reardon was about to become a hero. First, though, on April 3rd, he received an urgent call from his bosses in New York.
John, close that bank and take the staff and all their family, immediate family, to a plane we have coming in tomorrow at Tan Son Nhut Airport. It's a chartered Pan Am 747.
The problem with that plan was that the staff was Vietnamese, and unlike Americans, they couldn't just get on a plane and evacuate. So Reardon left without the staff. It was a scary time for those left behind, two bank workers told 60 Minutes' Leslie Stahl.
Did you feel abandoned?
Yes.
Did John say anything to you when he left?
I was crying so much. I was worried about my kids, my husband, and he said, "Don't worry, I'll be there for you."
Reardon went to Hong Kong, where he and his bosses tried desperately to find a way to get the Vietnamese employees out.
We had been working on all kinds of plans to get helicopters in there, another plane in there, a ship with a landing pad on it, and they all failed.
The Citibank brass finally gave up, and they told Reardon and his colleagues not to re-enter Vietnam. That night, Reardon's immediate supervisor, Mike McTighe, asked him to dinner.
Mike leaned into me and he said, "You know, John, one of us has to go back." And I just kind of pushed the steak away and said, with some tears in my eyes at that moment, "You're right, I know it."
You had to bring those people out.
Right. And they were counting on us.
So despite Citibank's orders, he returned. There was no plan, but there was plenty of will. Life under communist rule would likely be very rough for those who worked closely with Americans, those like the Citibank employees. Reardon had gathered them and their families at two villas when a CIA operative told him the only way out. U.S. military cargo planes were evacuating Americans and their immediate families.
So the CIA told you to take 106 people and treat them all as your family.
Right, not at once, but in small groups.
And did you think that was a reasonable plan, a plan that would actually work?
It was the only straw that was, offered to me at the time.
And so began treks to the airport with the Vietnamese employees in tow. Reardon lied on government paperwork, making long lists of sons and daughters he didn't really have, all of them Vietnamese.
So these 106 people, you got out on 15 trips to the airport.
Approximately, yes.
Each one of those trips claiming that they were your family members,
right,
a wife and children.
I only had one wife in all of those applications. The rest of them were just
exhausted.
Yeah.
Remarkably, Reardon and his new giant family were never stopped, never really questioned. All of them got out, and just in time. Days later, North Vietnamese troops rolled in, and Saigon fell. Each of the 106 was relocated to the United States, where they lived their lives and grew their families. In 2013, 60 Minutes organized a reunion for Reardon and the people he rescued. They still call him Papa, and he still refers to them as his family. But there is one thing John Reardon does not want to be called.
You're a very modest man, and you don't want to be seen as a hero for this, but I think most people would see you as a hero.
That's their choice, I'm just me.
For CBS This Morning, Chip Reed, New York.
What a beautiful
You know,
story.
if there's not a movie made about all of this, you know, you have Rory Kennedy's documentary, there's a great movie there because there's so many stories like this.
And it's all there.
Tragedy, too,
Yeah.
the fall of Saigon.
And no hero ever wants to be called a hero. They
Yeah.
don't see themselves that way.